Hi everybody, in a previous video I talked about the idea of using an ebook as a handout, so I've talked about more the concept of that last time around, and that was around the power of change. This time it's the art of coaches. I'm not going to talk too much about the concept of an ebook because you can see that in the previous video and blog that's associated with that, but I actually wanted to showcase the ebook itself, and of course if you want a copy just email me, I'm happy to send it across. It's a PDF format, what you're actually looking at here in full screen. So in terms of the coaching program we run, it's a one-day course. We talk about a big sort of game of two halves really. It's about skills and states. So the first part of it is about coaching skills, but then it's also about your state as a coach as well. So the two are really, really important, and actually how the idea that states actually trump skills. So it's great having all the skills in any discipline, but in this particular case coaching. But without that state, i.e. not being in a great state, sometimes mean those skills are a bit redundant. Remember, it's not about the coach. If you've been following my work, you'll know all about that. But we do start with the really big warning that you've got to think about the coachee. So it's great to focus on your own skills and your own awareness and everything else, but really it's about that coachee as well. So just think about them. And a nice little quote from Ginger Rogers. She once said, "Anything he does, being Fred Astaire, I do backwards and in the high heels." It's a bit like the coaching metaphor really, is actually think about what's going on for them, because they might find it a bit tricky. If I was going to be sent to a desert island or end up on a desert island, I suppose there's be the kind of the areas I would take away in terms of coaching. This would be probably out the 4 or 5 I would take. This would definitely be in the top 1, if you like. It's about defining the purpose of coaching. You really got to know what your purpose is so you can express that purpose. So we've got coaching, mentoring, and other forms of support and personal development. So really be clear on your purpose as a coach. Apply a structured approach. You need to have a start, middle, and end, and A to Z really. And that could be the Grow or other models, but just think about how can you actually structure that conversation. And sometimes structure is really great because you won't need it, but sometimes structure is really important because when you get a bit lost, a bit stuck, or miss something, or a bit of clarity, then you'll need it right at the very end. Questioning to initiate changes is one of the top 3 skills really. Questioning is about that open question, and without it, people can get a bit stuck. And the biggest thing I see on these courses is that people will still go to that closed approach because we're used to that talaholic society. So really want to think about how you power up your open questions. Listening goes double-handed. You know, the two go together hand in hand, don't they, really? But think about how you can listen without being that expert, that beginner's mind. So actually, you can really, really deeply listen and start to pick up on trends and clues. And then the third big skill, so if you put your purpose and structure together and you've got your questioning and listening in tandem, is really thinking about the observing and what you observe. What do you observe? Words, voice, and body language. And actually, there's a bit of a misled bit of theory about Moravian there, because it is really important to observe all these things, not just the words, voice, and the body language, but in equal capacity. So observation skills are really, really important. And then in terms of the kind of second half that I picked up on about state, then it's think about, well, how do you coach someone during that kind of struggle, release, flow, and recovery phase? You really want to bring the best out of them in that moment and in that piece of work, that timeline that you're working to. So how can you embrace that struggle, but shift through so you actually think about how they can release the struggle, that friction, that tension, to be at the very best when they can flow. But they also need time to recover as well. So these are sort of things you're coaching on, if you like. So are you coaching someone who's stuck in that struggle phase, somebody who can't find release, or somebody who's not recovering enough? Those are the kind of 3 areas that you want to move through to get to that big flow. And to do that, one of the things we coach around is the 17 flow triggers. So they talk about different areas from the Flow Genome Project. They talk about the mindset. So again, you can be coaching someone about goals, feedback, or the challenge skills ratio. The environment in which they operate, whether that's work or otherwise. The group, of course, that's so important, isn't it? The social environment and creativity as well. So those are some of the main areas. So hopefully that's going to be a quick whiz through. Feel free to get in touch, drop me an email. I can send you a copy of this. It's literally, as you've seen here, this is the PDF version in full screen mode, and it's pretty short and snappy. It's 9 pages long, and you can see this idea is to accompany a one-day coach training program. I use slides as well, as I mentioned last time around on the video, but this is the more the narrative approach, and actually it's quite a nice way, I think, to record the learning, because we tend to think that PowerPoint is for presentations, which it is. And I would caveat that by saying I don't tend to use PowerPoint that much. This is more of the handout time. So if you like that, be inspired and put your own ebook together. Really nice to do. And B, get in touch and I can drop you one of these into your inbox as soon as possible.